conduit along this wall. I want plugs on.
Well, howdy folks, welcome back. Another video, same video, I don't know. We kinda got two angles going. I got my phone there recording I mean, technically speaking it's 4K, but since I'm doing this in 2.7K, that's technically speaking also gonna be 2.7K. So
Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna
So yeah, so I got that one in 16:9, recording 60 FPS UHD. It seems to be doing fine. Now there is gonna be a frame rate mismatch between that camera and this camera, so I'm gonna have to normally I would change the sequence to GoPro Cineform, but I'm gonna have to keep it to match source because I'm using two different frame rate sources. Either that, or I gotta match them and then put them both into a sequence. I don't know how that's gonna work, but
my lease is up if I leave. I gotta put this wall back.
I mean, I can only record for 27 minutes anyway on that one, but at least here's the studio. Jay's 2 cents, one of his older videos. Even though it's in the middle of the night, middle, you can see the sun is already coming up again. It was darker outside, but it turned so quickly warm.
Does this fat make me look fat?
I've been feeling that these has been outpowering.
The idea here with this is that I can work on computers and have plenty of space.
Was that one that was moved right and changed? Or did I change this back? I changed both of them back.
What's that? You get phone calls.
Because the change here is that
One of the problems we have with the other set, and I really need to stand in this.
these have been moved further back
This was all I had to go.
to standing here, and then they're running
It was
cable from here
in the middle of
over to here. Cable goes into the true, so there's only 3 cable coming down there. Now I do want to put down a table for or a running board or something down here.
put it on the floor and then do that thing and then the floor.
But yeah, I don't have one, man. I do want to move,
But now look at this. We technically have
move
workspace.
or well,
Toolbox, we have 2 workbenches.
I do
right here,
want
and the main thing, plus all this shelf.
move this off of here and run like a new line of cables down behind there to plug this into.
Some of the CPUs, things that are not going to be like.
Because like all of this is going to be put into a rack eventually. Right now that monitor is powered by this fuse. We have a few here that we still need to add stuff to, like this 3-phase plug needs to get a yeah, fairings and shit, so
And if we're working on something, we gotta come back to it later. We can like quickly put a label up here or a piece of tape and write Skunkworks V2, whatever,
Plonk.
and then put those parts here.
so there are you. Now you need to go out there and those 2 other spots.
Space, the only workspace I have. Alright, we downloaded the phone.
Now this is not a powered system, so this is really unnecessary, but I mean, I know some people are gonna tell me like, but I do know what I'm doing, so it's not like I'm not knowing what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna drop these gloves. If I was working on the bottom side of this thing and in the actual full rack, which is powered, then I would, but not. So we're gonna unplug or unscrew these 2. Then we're gonna bring this down. Now I'm not gonna touch the metal because this one will have 130 volt going through it.
You guys kind of saw me start doing that at the beginning of this whole build series.
Yeah, we do not want to take that ground out. Thank you. You are. No. So it was grounded all the time. So there we go. So this one still needs to be that long, and these all pretty much still needs to be as long as they are. Now I am gonna bring my set up right here that has the wire fairings. We're gonna be using grays because grays are what I've used on these 2.5 leads. The gray ones, I have very tiny red ones for like smaller wire and shit, but we're not gonna be using that. Now, where is that?
Yes, I know. Jay, this is not the right kind. It should be this, or should be that. This isn't a soundstage, okay? We're just doing, like I said at the very start of this whole series, if I can get 70 or 80% of the result for less than half the price, then I'm fine with that. In fact, this probably
Yes. Where's the crimper? That's my question. I can't even remember where I used, because I know his crimper is up in there, but that's so fucking hard. So I want to use well, I mean, in ground and reason I didn't even use the crimper when I installed those other motherfuckers. I just squeezed them in the fuse. So I guess I'll just do the same approach on.
It is after sanding.
Do you?
We can get rid of that. It's not like a laminate. At least, yeah, it is real wood. You can see cracks and stuff that we've made in there. So let's do that.
Then we put this one over.
Alright, so if you look at the
Then we
surface now,
twist in the correct direction.
I should have probably used a coarser grain. This was just a 320.
So then we should be able to pull that one over. Then pull you out of the way. Then I should be able to use the fuse to just ram the cable down in there.
One of the things that we use to kind of hydrate and keep wood nice is a citrus oil, believe it or not. And just like the primary component.
And then we just tighten her. Just squeeze the hell out. Well.
And you can see now, all my paint is gone. The scratches we put in there with like the knives and stuff.
Of course, not the nicest one, but it works. And I'm just gonna drop this entire ID because it's not working to plan. And yes, it's not the nicest one. I have a proper, like, thing coming for us eventually, but not for now.
So you guys are used to this set, and here's what we got done today. I present to you the new and improved foundation for the Jay's 2 cents makerspace. Plenty of counter space. I'm thinking about even getting a 3D printer, to be honest. There's been times I've wanted to 3D print my own parts, but I never had space for it. But obviously we do. It is super vanilla, obviously right now. There's nothing on these shelves. Phil just kind of stuck these coolers here for now because this is, like I said earlier, this is not intended to be storage. There will be a whole storage section over there, but this is not intended to be storage. This is intended to be commonly used parts that we do for builds and other videos and stuff. And then once the shelves are filled up, you won't really see.
And then I'm gonna. Can I take like either a smaller one or a proper?
The issue I have so far is still, we'll stand over there where like A-cam would be, with a big white wall behind me. It's pretty plain, obviously. And so I want.
Okay, so this one has more grip apparently than any of these. That's a new one.
Lots of guns, right? So,
Well, they're squeezed at least.
What I did at the other studio, you guys saw, is I put some of my favorite builds back there. The Threadripper build has been back there the whole time. The Symbiote Skunk was there for a little while. The D-frame build, our test bench. I might have a permanent test bench set up here. I don't know yet how I want to handle that. I'm kind of thinking about doing a test bench cart that's always there and you can roll around and you just have to plug it into power and it's ready to go for whatever testing you want to do. But I don't want to utilize this space for any sort of like things that are going to reside on there, like builds and stuff. I think that's what this area is going to be for over here, because if you guys look, we've got a lot of carpet on the floor over here to kind of give you an idea of how big the next set is going to be. I want this to be almost like, not really a living room, But just a nerd space, if that makes sense. This was designed to be kind of like a home office. This is obviously our build shop. I scratched the idea of recreating our current set because I'm frustrated there. I feel crammed. I feel like that place is a source of anxiety for me, to be honest. I don't say, oh, YouTuber, let me show you. No, none of that crap. It's just, I didn't like working in there. Why recreate a thing that bothers me? So I'm thinking I want this to be like a dual zone, kind of a...
So that's a start. Then I need to fit. Oh, it went on the floor.
We're just kind of kicking back. We could have table and chairs, or like a couch and TV, and you know that you can hook up to for showing your screen and all that sort of stuff. Like a real relaxing kind of a green room meeting space.
That's right, it ain't going anywhere.
Set over here where we could do like bigger showcases.
But yes, I do need a proper fairingkrimper.
For when the shop.
Trust me, I know.
Because I still think I'm gonna spend most of my time over here. But I want this space over here to make sense too.
But now that's a prepare cable. I'm gonna put this into storage because the chances of us needing this anytime soon is very low. But when we need it, it is ready, it is prepared, it has fairings on it. It's just to pop her in and she's ready to rock and roll. So
I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to see what comes.
I'm just gonna put this there.
The last time I was like, guys, what would you do in the space? You guys all told me what I was doing wrong. No, if this were your space right here, what would you build in there? I'm looking for some inspiration and some ideas. So we'll try this again.
So I'll just put that there for now.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm just trying to prepare that shit to get the actual shelf, because the plan is probably to mount right here an electrical panel and like one rack electrical panel, maybe a 2 rack if I can find some units that fits the full DIN rail length. So yeah,
here's what we got. So this was originally my office. It's all painted. The bed that was upstairs is down here now, but disassembled and not put back together. That's the dining room table that was my desk. That is going to go to the studio and find purpose there. And so this room, with the exception of my sim rig that is over here until we're done upstairs, and my chair, which I'm not sure I'm going to keep, is done until the carpet is in. So this will be a project after the office is done, obviously. So we're on vacation at the end of this month, and so we're probably not going to get the carpet replaced until after that, because how long it takes to get the how long it takes to get the special work done. So let's show you what the nearly blank canvas looks like for the office upstairs. So as you can see, nothing's in here, but all the wall plates back on. Funny thing is, like, the painter is actually plugged those holes for me, and I think so it's not perfect.
Fuck's sake.
So
I guess it's fine.
The only thing still up here that's not going in my office is that help chest, which belongs to my wife when she was young. But I need help carrying this downstairs. It's heavy. Phil's gone home a long time ago, obviously. So anyone that's ever taken on any kind of project.
Oh, these doesn't even have the proper cable. These have an L1 and a grounding cable. These are. Oh, it's squeezed down by the fuse. Oh gosh darn it. Well, that's that.
I was wondering, can I jump without making a sound, right? You gotta go lower.
So yeah, I need a feral. I need a feral thingy thingy. I'm just trying to clean up shit. In reality, that cable was the cable going into my bedroom before it got moved over on the audio system. Right now the audio system is not connected to a single piece of shit because the cable got reused there, because I had to fire up the switch again to try and do some configuring to see if I could get the interface card to work, but my 10 gig NIC down there does not have link negotiation, so I can't go down to 1 gig duplex on it through Windows Pro Set utility or so yeah, in Windows Device Manager it says it can go down to 1 gig full duplex, but in reality it can't. So here we are. Now you. Okay, so I'm gonna be continuing this vlog somewhat on my phone. I'm sorry if it might look a little jagged and whatnot. The format is going to be Cine for Movie 10 with 50 Hz because that's the anti-flicker setting on that camera at the moment. But since my phone don't have a 50 Hz refresh rate setting, as far as I'm aware of, I'm using the S20 FE. We're going to be stuck with UHD 60 FPS 16:9. So I'm going to continue here. I'm going to do some work, but I'm just going to do some work and I'm going to update you guys here and there on the process because I just moved those discs. I need to move shit around, and so yeah, so stick around. Well, we're back here. A quick moment. I was looking at a solution for when I'm running this cable down, because probably what I'll end up doing is just looping the cable behind here, go down, then out here, just sneak the cable out here, there. But the thing is, I want them to be in a wire loom, but I don't have any wire loom on hand, and it's not like wire loom is the cheapest thing on the earth for planet of Earth either. So I have this felt tape, which I know work decently well together with cables. I use them on these cables back here, which is actually just normal electrical wiring connecting up to that ignition switch. So my idea is probably just take this, smack it onto the cables, and here we go. So, where is the actual? There it is. So now I just need to figure out which cables we have that are long enough. Hopefully that piece of grounding wire is long enough, and we have a blue wire that's long enough to get down there in a nicely manner. And then we'll just have to see what the hell we can do to make it nice for now temporarily until we get a box on that wall, because the plan is to put this into a box on the wall and just leave it connected to there to do some power distribution. There is easier ways and I guess less complicated ways of doing power distribution, but this is what I have, and well, I'm a tech nerd, so I guess it's not the end of the world. So yeah. So here we go. Okay, you're gonna have to bear with me if the sound's a little echoey.
Amplify or to preamp and capture an interface, my SM7B Shure microphone right here. For when I do live streaming. I've wanted this microphone.
Definitely long enough.
It's one of the cheapest microphones.
Now this is a 16 amp fuse. I might as well just go off of it instead of using a 13 amp fuse. I could have gone off of the 10 amp because these are only 100 watt power rating anyway, so they only use like 08 amps each. If my conversion is correct.
I'm gonna get it. Oh, here it is. And so it's sitting on my Rode PSA1 mic stand.
Alexa,
which obviously
100 divided by 230.
Some live streaming.
100 divided by 230 is approximately 0.4348.
Yeah, so 0.4 amps per speaker. In terms of power rating.
And for me, I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at like the small things, and I think over time that will sort of mature. But as you can see, Nebula is here. in her spot, and just, I mean, who can deny looking at that? I was into a smaller computer over here, and we both kind of agreed that that would have been a terrible idea because it would have looked super empty. But that's also the reason why I have 2 sets of Alex desks or drawers underneath it. A lot of people are triggered by that set of drawers on the right there, saying, Jay, how the heck do you reach that? Like that. That very producing thing, but like that. So those have more of a purpose of holding the weight of Nebula than being anything else. And I figured, well, if I'm gonna get some sort of a stand there anyway, it might as well be additional storage. So that would be for things that aren't used very often, but I need to have nearby, or I can easily get to it if I need to. These drawers are perfectly accessible.
Now I'm gonna try to re-squeeze it a little more with this thing.
I didn't
just
want
to
to just do a leg or something back there, having it then kind of start leaning over time. So I just did 2 Alex drawers side by side with these little couch.
Well, these are sitting great.
Before, getting the desk up just a little bit, making it so that I can easily have the weight supported. This is the most recent modification that I did. Super simple. 16.
Well, you see it enough.
14-inch.
So what I'm gonna do is that this is the neutral side, that's the live side, that's how this. No, actually not.
Stained it with a stain that matched the desktop as close as I could find. This is
No.
Arch.
This is the neutral side, this is the live side, because that's L1, that's L2/neutral, depending on which side you have the ring. So, now, never mind the district backwards. I'm just going to use this 16 amp fuse, nothing major.
It also sticks out slightly like that because I should have got the
I don't have anything else that is more power hungry that needs this fuse, so we're just going to stick with it. And it's going to work for the time being. So, I'm just going to pre-connect the wires before we do any looming work.
Somebody that's wanting to. So as you can hear right now, you can't see it on the screen because I've got a different notepad up, but okay, so that was just typing now. Not very often when you're streaming, or you sitting there quietly typing. It's annoying. So let's say you're talking right now and you're like, oh no, here it is. Oh, I'm Fortniting. I'm so Fortniting. Yay, Fortnite is the best.
What the?
I'm moving fast. I'm strafing. And so as you can see, the clicky keyboard is loud. So if I can push it softly. Now let's face it, none of us flailing on the keyboard.
Stays.
That's a whole other here. So if you're a live streamer, then you might want to consider maybe getting one of the non-clicky. Now let's go and talk about something that I'm not a fan of with this keyboard. I'm going to set it down so it's not waving around. Probably its best feature is also its worst, and that being the light speed connectivity. I had to end up moving the dongle from the tower, which you can see is right next to the keyboard, to a hub that I have underneath the desk, to split the difference between the tower and my racing sim, which is right over there, literally on the left side of this table. Because when I'm on the racing sim, I need to be able to, control the keyboard and go into settings and launch apps and stuff like that. And I don't like doing any of the desktop stuff from VR because I'm using an Oculus Rift S. I just slide my chair over there, use my chair as a table next to my racing sim. The problem is once the Oculus VR turns on and the controllers are active, the keyboard completely drops out. There is enough interference, and I have no idea what the frequency range of the controllers are. Maybe Phil, if he knows, can put an overlay here. If not, then he can just put, nope, I don't know. But the controllers completely step on the connectivity to the keyboard, but not the mouse. And considering they're both using Lightspeed, I find that very interesting because of the fact that they are using apparently the same technology and the same frequencies. But the extremely fast but short range meant that enough interference from just having the VR headset going and the controllers was enough to make it so that
normally you
would not work.
would use
Now it's easily fixable by just like I said, having a USB
But I'm
hub
just
under the
going
desk over
to-
here on the left side,
Due to the fact that
which
this
I
is
already had
situation I'm
anyway,
in.
and using it to charge things like the keyboard and mouse when I want to plug in. I also am using
No,
to
I am
connect,
going
I don't know, something else down there. I can't remember what. Oh, no? My amp and my DAC and all that.
No,
when I
it's
started
that,
or what
but
is it? I don't know. I put it there for some reason.
Not be
I don't know.
the end of
But
the world.
Since it's, like I said, between the desktop and the rig, it made it so that I was able to get a connection back. But that means if you wanted to say, if you had the TV hooked up like I do over here to a tower all the way over there, and you wanted to bring the keyboard and mouse over there so that you could use that as some sort of a home theater PC, then it'll work until anything that's even remotely more powerful that can bleed over into that frequency is going to step on it and make it no longer work. One of the requirements with the FCC in the United States is that things that emit radio frequency have to also accept interference. It's a really interesting law, but the FCC does require that things accept radio interference as much as emit it. I think it has something to do with pirate radio back in the day, and so it's some laws that exist now. So obviously, with it accepting interference means it stops working. Clearly that's not a problem if you're going to plug it in. But if you're going to plug it in, I don't know why you get the G915 anyway. The G815 is much cheaper and a much better deal, and it's basically a wired version of this, although a little bit different. So when it comes to the G915, a lot of you asked about it, and I'm happy with it. It fits the needs I have. It's expensive though, it's $250. I've seen it go as cheap as $229 on sale. Unfortunately, when I bought mine, it was not on sale. So I did spend the $250 on this keyboard. Would I do it again? For this setup, yes. But would I buy it for my office, back to the studio? No. Would I buy it for any other rig that's just sitting there stationary that you don't have the need to be able to move it around like I do, having to go over to their gaming rig and wanting to lay back in my lap and all that and move around the room? There are other better wireless keyboards if you can deal with the fact that there's going to be a slight amount of input lag, but if you're not doing any sort of competitive gaming or even any sort of extreme FPS, what I mean by that is people that are doing like crazy Counter-Strike and Fortnite, Twitch shooting type stuff, then you're probably never going to notice. I had a Logitech wireless keyboard bundle that I got for like $50 back in my old house when I had this rig in my upstairs loft, if you guys know that setup, that I used all around that room. It was like twice the size of this room at least, with no problems whatsoever, and the battery life lasted like 6 months with just regular AA's. They weren't even rechargeable. So in that aspect, this isn't worth it to that person. But I'm pretty superficial, and it specifically caught my attention because of its appearance, which made me go, ooh, that's pretty. And it meets my needs, and it probably won't meet yours. I hate to say it's not worth it, because obviously worth is subjective. But I can tell you right now, in this scenario, it would worth it to me. If you're someone that's like, man, I'm kind of on a budget, I would probably look elsewhere. And I would probably stick to wired keyboards if I were you, and then just maybe use some sort of a powered USB hub extension somewhere to get a longer range out of it if you want. So there you go. You guys asked about my opinion of the G915.
Okay, then that's good. Then we just need to take some screws, smack it into the fucking wood, spack the cover on, pull these back, spack them in there, and these monitors are fully powered out for that one circuit coming off of that 16 amp.
Function or problem with this keyboard.
I'm gonna go on the toilet, I'm gonna sit myself down in the next shit, and we'll be back with this project after that.
Your PC repair shop sort of thing, and you got work orders that you got to fulfill. It's a car simulator. My understanding is it's just like that. So as a career, you kind of build up your presence and your income, and that goes up. You buy extra things, you buy more workbenches, and beef up your systems. So let's see what we got going on here. Okay. You guys hear the sound playing like a slight echo? I am listening to it on speakers and not headphones, and so it might pick up on the microphone. So you're going to go to your PC by the doorway, open the email program on the desktop. I've got mail. Oh, double click. Okay, just like there. Thanks for taking over PC Shop for me. Sorry, it's not there. Just take a few things. The company isn't doing very well, and there's no money in the bank account. What a way to start a company. The rent energy goes.
Trout is in the fridge, out of the freezer, slowly defrosting. I'm already hungry, but I barely got any food in here. and shops are closed. So yeah, that's great. I can bake some stuff. I'm just lazy. And well, also coffee. Now I don't know what the hell. How did that? I don't know what the hell happened in this coffee filter. But okay. This thing got a beating. So I guess we're giving it a clean then. And getting that coffee out of there. So I guess I could do a little bit of a coffee pep talk. Or not pep talk, but you get my point. Anywho, I use these Maltia coffee filters. They're the same coffee filter brand as my coffee maker. Some people might call it the off-brand of a Mocha Master. So yeah, if you're wondering, I'm from Norway. I use the coffee brand Friele filter coffee. And if I do like 6.5-ish, if I do a full one, I do 4. If I do like 6.5-ish, I tend to do like 3. That's how I make my coffee. Now, here's a little bit of controversy by buying a pre-grinded coffee versus brine beans. If I just weren't as lazy as I did, especially in the morning, I would buy beans, grind the beans every time I make coffee, because you do retain the taste more of the coffee and the saturation of them if you grind them at the time of cooking them. But since I'm a lazy bastard, definitely in the morning when I just have woken up, I tend to just use filter coffee, or that is what I have. Actually, the last pack of coffee that is from back in October of 2021, because I bought a 24 pack. Now, since I tapped down on my coffee drinking around in February, pretty much after I moved, I still was going heavy on coffee until like I went home on Christmas or whatnot, and probably about then too, howdy. But after Christmas, January time, when I got back here, I started stepping down on my coffee because my stomach started to get a little ill, because I think I ate a lot of like these quick like brunch bars and shit with like chocolate and like barley mixes and shit. And I don't think it was really happy with that. So yeah, so here we are. Coffee is cooking. So yeah. And I'm gonna try to get something to fucking eat. Well, I do have some carrots, I guess. Well, I mean, if you're desperate, I guess it works. They've been laying for a while in there, but carrots don't tend to get bad that quick, especially if they're laying cold and in a sealed bag. So they should be fine.
Is there a downside?
Well, 02, and we got some coffee. You might be wondering why the hell I put water in my cup before the coffee. Well, it's because I like to start drinking my coffee immediately, but it's too hot. So, yeah. So, oh no, the sun is coming out again. Well, anywho, I'm just gonna finish off that plug off camera, and we'll be back once I'm done with that plug. Okay, she's in. She's done.
Okay, cool.
And the speakers work.
I'm giving my daughter a PC, and there seems to be a lot of that going around lately, huh?
Well,
I'm giving my daughter a PC.
project
And she needs a lot of RAM,
putting
apparently.
that
She says she needs 16 gigabyte, and I've got 2 gigabyte and 4 gigabyte RAM slots on the motherboard. Oh, 2 gigabytes and 4 RAM slots on the motherboard. Okay, fine. Let's set that one.
So yeah, So there that is. It's in, it's done. It's kind of wrapped up behind here. It's kind of wrapped up behind here. I now also don't know why this thing is further out than this thing is further out. I think that had something to do with where I'm standing when I'm mixing and me standing in the middle, kind of. I guess that has to do with that one standing further out than that one. So, that's one thing. But at least, it's there, the speakers are plugged into there. It's a nice cable going up here, going into that fuse. So I'm gonna put a label in here that says speakers. Wrap up the last of that cable, and I'm gonna call this deal done. So now I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna do as far as, well, feeding this cable into another outlet and then feeding my console into the main. So that way I don't have to have this fucker coming out here. So now I don't have to have any cables coming across, or besides from those cables going into the rack, all the power that needs to be delivered to any active speakers are being done by that outlet. So yeah. I don't remember exactly where I started this video, but I'm probably gonna end this video here and start a new video later today. Because hopefully my patch panel and my keystones are finally gonna arrive after Posten tried to deliver it the other day. They never called me, so I never knew they were at the door. So, well, that's gonna be a thing, so then I can get a patch panel in there, and then the router will probably not arrive before like out in July. Because it's AliExpress and standard shipping, so because I wasn't exactly gonna pay $200 for DHL Express shipping. Because DHL Express shipping from those countries are insane. So China.
If you're just tuning in, this is PC Building Simulator. Basically,
so yeah, so I'm gonna say thanks for watching this video. If you like the content, a like would be greatly appreciated. Links down below to all that stuff. My gaming channel, my Twitch where I do streams, gaming streams. I was gonna stream yesterday too into this night morning, but that never happened. So yeah, so here we are. So yes, I'm gonna say thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned to Sales of L. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers!